was never gonna be a sinner.
No, he was never gonna be a sinner.
He was never gonna be a saint. Neither was he gonna be a saint.
Maybe a little awkward, somewhat delinquent. Some may say kinda quaint.
A little naughty but nice. Different comes to mind. A little bit naughty, a little bit nice. A little bit different,
living in a world of his own.
That's alright, I guess. Best left to his own device.
Just leave him to his own device. Marriage out of the question. He would never have a wife. No, he would never take a wife. That's what everybody thought. Anyway. But he was not a monster. He was not a monster. Not wreaking havoc on the world. More a role model for your boy or girl. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. Just quite different and unique. That does not mean he was a freak. Not too pretty, not too handsome.
So what? So what? So what? That does not make him a monster. But people can be cruel.
Oh yeah. Some would say unkind.
Definitely.
There was no bolt through his neck, but he was labeled some sort of Frankenstein. Yet he never hurt a soul. Never ever.
But I guess if looks could kill, the worst that may happen
is you could be a little ill. Serves you right.
kept himself to himself, and he never ventured far.
Mary Shelley would have had sympathy, Mary, and maybe Merrick too. 'Cause I guess if you do not fit in with the many,
then you are one of the few. You are one of the few.
but he was not a monster. He was not a monster. He wasn't wreaking havoc on the world. He could be a role model for your little boy and girl. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. Just a little different and unique. But that does not mean he was some sort of freak. He was not too pretty.
He was not too handsome. But so what? So what? So what? His mother thought he was lovely.
Tolerance is a virtue, but it seems in short supply.
Maybe short supply.
Why are we fearful of a difference? Why do people question why? Fat or thin, short or tall, black or white? Does that mean we can't go to the bar? Does that mean you can't go to the bar? Does that mean that we cannot accept all whatever our difference is? Hard if you are different, you're not invited to the bar. You can't go to the bar if you're different at all. kiss from a princess turns this frog into a prince.
No, no such luck.
He was happy anyway in his own pond, not making people wince. King of his own castle, preferring such seclusion. No, he's better off in solitude, a more natural conclusion. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. He was not wreaking havoc on the world. He was no threat to your little boy or girl. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. Just quite different and unique. And that did not mean he was some sort of freak. He may not have been too pretty or too handsome, but so what? So what? Who cares? So what? But indeed one day beauty came upon this beast, and her humanity and wisdom, well, it swept him off his feet, right off his feet. Her beauty was not just skin deep, no, but was encompassed by her heart. This could be a marriage made in heaven and would never fall apart. A happy ending, his beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It sees just what it wants to see. He was not a monster, and this good heart of this beholder, he was not a monster. Well, I guess it set them both quite free, 'cause he was not a monster. He was not a monster. He was not wreaking havoc on the world. He was no threat to your little boy or girl. He was not a monster. 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 Just a little different. Some would say unique. Maybe not too pretty or too handsome, but that does not make him a freak. He was not a monster. He was not a monster. He was not a monster.